Drawing Breath is a series of interviews with humans telling interesting stories. If you'd like to support this channel, please interact with the social media platform that you're using. And now, Michael Lagocki tells us the story of making his creator-owned comic, Triumphs of the Mad King.
Triumphs of the Mad King is a graphic novella that I wrote and drew. It's like just under 50 pages, I think. And I created it during the pandemic. And it was a total stream of consciousness creation. I started with panel 1, which is the king was mad. And I just went from there. And I remember the reason why I was kind of like inspired to do it was there's a rapper I really like in Dallas called Plato. He also goes by Crumb, but he used to go by Plato. And he, with one of his albums, put out like this little book, and it was like a little story of a king. And I just remember like reading it and liking it. Now it wasn't drawn; it was just written. But I was like, this guy's out here publishing books. He's not even like he has no interest in being an author. That's not even what he's trying to do. But he's doing better work than I am in publishing, and I know I'm supposed to be doing publishing. So it got me frustrated. And so then I went in and I wrote The King is Mad, and I drew it, and then I just kept going. And I've never done another book like this before, but I did it in 30 days, I believe. So in about 30 days of working on it full time, wake up, go to the drawing table, work on this book. It just kind of flew out of me. And, fortunately, the stream of consciousness thing totally worked. It absolutely had a story that had a beginning, middle, and end. And I was able to land the plane and figure out what that story was. And I drew it digitally on my iPad. I started it all in black and white. The early pages are black, white, and red. I was heavily influenced by like rubber hose animation at the time. That was the kind of stuff that I wanted to like do, like Ignatz or like Felix the Cat, Steamboat Willie, like that kind of look was what I really liked. Betty Boop. And I wanted to do something that had that kind of vibe and that kind of look. And I wanted to do something that was like uniquely me. And it's a fable. It's a very silly, like cartoon fable type story. With some love elements in it and a little bit of political elements in it. The basic message of the story is that love can save you even in madness, and that love is critical even in a mad world. Nice. So that's what the story's about. And I created the king and all the characters that go with it. There's a core maiden, and there's an artist, and for some reason there's a servant ghost. And Brian Chatterton. I have no idea why Brian Chatterton like influences a character in almost every story I do. But the server's ghost is like in some way related to Brian Chatterton. I have no idea. But he always ends up showing up in my work somehow. That's great. And man, I love the king. And I printed it through, so I did 24 pages. Or I'm sorry, 40 some pages, almost 50 pages. And the beginning is black and white, but then there are three actually. If you count the ending, there are 3 color sequences that kind of represent when the world is opening up and love has come to rule. And there's a bunch of references in the book that most people did not get, although you got the one that most people didn't get. Somewhere in Time shows up here at the end, and like I just didn't know where to take the romance moment. And when I was a kid, I loved
The penny is what.
that's the actual penny. I screenshotted the penny, so that's the actual penny from Somewhere in Time. And he looks at it, and it throws him back in time or whatever, like it does in the movie. But that was the reference that nobody got. And then I think there are only 2 people who read the book that got it. I think it was you were one of them, and then my Uncle Pete was the other one. Well, for whatever reason, probably just because HBO showed that movie a lot when we were kids. So, there was that era where, like, if you had HBO, you watched it a lot. And if there was some movie like that they showed over and over again, you ended up watching it a million times. And, you know, not too many love stories impact a 8-year-old or whatever I was when I was watching that movie. But that one did, and I always loved it. And so I was really thrilled to be able to put it. And I put that reference in there just solely to make me laugh. Right? I'm like, this is ridiculous. Nobody's going to know that somewhere in time is the reference here. A bunch of people, I got some great feedback on the book. People like really liked it. And I think part of that is just because it doesn't do what most comics try to do. Most comics are trying to tell some kind of hero story, or they're the beginning of something, and like these adventures can continue. And The King's not like that. It's a fable. It's got a beginning, middle, and end. There's no sequel coming, like anything like that. And so I got a lot of really positive feedback on it, but it was funny. I would always ask people, okay, so did you get the Giant Penny reference? And nobody ever got it. Yeah, and I really love the story and I love the characters. Um, so I printed it myself through Mixum. I paid for it out of pocket. But I have a good relationship with Titan Comics, and so I planned. I knew I wanted to do my premiere event there, without a doubt. There's nowhere else in the world I'd want to do it, and so I did my premiere event there. And between the between the pre-orders and the event at Titan, I sold like somewhere between 60 and 70 copies, and that was enough to pay for the print run because they were $15 a piece I was selling them for.
How many are there?
There are 200 total in existence, and I'm probably down to the last 40 some. So I initially only ordered 100. Then when I had pre-orders and realized that the Titan event was going to be successful, I was like, well, I definitely don't want to sell out of it right away. So that's why I ordered a second 100. I've already talked to another store about doing a signing. So I think I'm going to do a signing this summer or in the next couple months. And if I do that, I should probably be through most of my copies. Um, or that and maybe one other thing. I'll be through most of my copies. So when I'm out of copies, I probably will want a second printing. And I imagine I'll print it bigger this time, just to separate it from the first book in terms of format. So maybe I'll print it a little bit bigger. But I really, really like it. And I'm proud of it. And one of the things we were talking about earlier is, it's one thing to be published. I've been published a few times, probably 10 times or so, which is great. It's a great feeling. But it's totally different to completely write and draw something yourself and to like every line of it. And I definitely like every line of the book, and there's nothing that I change. And I'm just proud of the work of it. So it's awesome to have something that you're that proud of and that you can share with people. And I've taken it to a few cons. And I had one nice trip up to Canada where I sold quite a few copies up there, man.
Really?
Yeah, that was great. When I went to the region of Canada that's like directly across from Niagara Falls. So like, well, I guess it's part of Niagara Falls technically. It's just the other side. So it was Niagara and St. Catherine and that area around there. And I hit up 3 different comic shops, and all 3 of them were super nice, man. All 3 of them were like, the first one was like, okay, I'll take 4. And then when I went in the second one, I was like, well, homeboy over here took 4. And if you take 4, I can give them to you for this price. Yep, let's do it. I'll take 4. Next guy, I'll take 4. So everywhere I went,
That's great.
they were all like that. And I remember I was traveling with my mom, and I remember saying to her, now watch, we're going to get back to Canada or America. We'll stop by some stores. I bet you I won't sell a single copy if they won't support it like the Canadian retailers did. Sure enough, not a single copy. Everyone in the American stores I stopped by was like, yeah, this is great. No, I definitely don't want it. I can't sell that. It's awesome. I love it. I love books like that myself. I just can't sell them, Whereas the Canadian retailers were like, you did this yourself and you took the time to come by here? That's awesome, man. Give me 4 of those. What I loved, and I'd really love to do again, though, was just the idea of truly being a cartoonist and like waking up every day and actually finishing a project. I don't know why. I have millions of projects that I haven't finished. I want people to read it and enjoy it and associate with me. Strong came out pretty good.
Drawing Breath is a series of interviews with humans telling interesting stories. If you'd like to support this channel, please interact with the social media platform that you're using.